Live です。
始まってるかな
Think about that music right there, Kuni.
はい、もうストップね。
They don't know what that is. You know, we have to do that all the time, guys, because
こんばんは、皆さん。
we can't talk at the same time, Kuni.
はい、こんばんは。始まりました。異文化ルームです。
Good evening. We're going to
こんばん
start.
は。はい、今年2回目ですね。一緒でやるのは初めてですね。2
Okay,
weeks ago?
I'm going to try one more time, then I give up.
すいません、今日は
I got to have a chance to say something.
もう練習してなくてね、すいません、ね。
That's not why.
はい、
So,
OK。
anyway, good evening.
はい。
So, every time we play music, we have to cut it off in about 10 seconds, right,
そう
Kuni?
そうそうそうそうそう。
Otherwise, they're going to cut it off. So, Kuni was saying we didn't practice, but that's not important. Practice makes perfect, but that's not important because today is only the second time of the year. We good?
Yes.
All right.
はい。
So, Kuni, what's the topic today? Oh, first, sorry, before
Yes,
we do the topic,
はい。
let's do our introductions.
はい。この Facebook ライブは2週間に1回ぐらいの割合で土曜日の夜にやっています。異文化、私たちは国際カップル。
Okay, so this is, we do this異文化 communication, which means intercultural communication show. We try to do it every 2 weeks. And because we're an international couple, so we have to tell you about our experiences with trying to communicate with different cultures.
そうそうね。私の日本語とマイクの英語と私の変な違うカタカナイングリッシュとマイクの変な
あなたも変な日本語ね。
私も変な日本語そうね。マイクの変な日本語4つの言葉で
Okay,
生活してますね。
so we're gonna use it's a bilingual show. So we have Kuni's good Japanese and my good English. However, we also have to struggle with Mike's bad Japanese and Kuni's katakana English because she uses the Japanese English style. But we can understand each other.
そうね。そうこんな生活をだいぶしてきたけど、これが慣れてきましたね。
So I think you said about talking about our daily life, and I don't know the other Narubeki. What did you say? Narubeki?
なるべく
Did you say Narubeki? I didn't catch that word. Sorry. One more time. Say katsuto nani?
なんだっけ
Your second word. I didn't get that one.
なるべくじゃないよ。
I know, but I don't know what it was. I don't know.
忘れた、I forgot.
Hi. So you forgot. I don't know. So it's okay because you don't know either. Do we have any visitors yet, Kuni?
No.
All right. So this is the second show of the year, and Kuni's saying we didn't practice, but that's not true. What it is, Kuni, can I tell you a story before we start? It's related. Say, 今日のテーマはconnection あります。
はい。そう、今日のテーマはざっくばらんに異文化。
No, my story is connected. I mean, go ahead.
Mike story?
Yeah, just it's connected. So, Kuni, last week I talked to my friend Tan. Tan is Vietnamese American. We went to UCLA together. So, 先週は私の友達タンさんと話します。タンさんは私たち一緒にの母校に行きましたね。We went to school together. And Tan studied psychology. And Kuni, you know, yeah, psychology is study of the mind.
Yes. 脳科学かな。
Maybe. So he told me that I don't listen, Kuni. And you know what's funny? I'm not a good listener. And so you're trying to tell me stuff, but I'm not good at listening. So this is part of communication. So 私は話上手ね。でもあまり聞いてないね。時々ね。聞いてなかった。Yeah, I don't listen to other people enough. So this is something that I'm working on. So today's topic about communication is recognizing the person's culture in front of you.
はいはい。今日のテーマはマイクはお話しするの大好きだけど、よくあるよね。人の話は聞かないね。
It's difficult for me. I want to.
そう、いっぱいね。もうそれは誰にでもあることですよね。日本人も。
So Kuni's saying that I like talking, but I need to work on listening more, which is what I said. However, it's something that a lot of people experience, and not only Americans, but of course Japanese too. So, Kuni, what I'm saying is, if you want to know the person's culture in front of you, you have to listen to them.
そうね、基本的には、相手の話をね、聞かないと、相手のことがわからないですよね。
相手の文化ね。
相手の文化ね。
考え方とか。
考え方ね。
You can't understand their thinking, their culture if you don't listen to them. So, but we want to think about understanding the culture of the person in front of you, right? That's today's theme. So, okay, Kuni, you lead from here. I follow.
まあ私たちはもともと、まあ今、ね、もし聞いてる方はわかると思いますが、言葉がね、パーフェクトになかなか難しい毎日を送ってはいます。
Okay, so I think you said that, she's saying between the two of us, we try to communicate and understand each other perfectly, but that's hard to do. So we don't understand every word. So that's what we're struggling to do every day, something like that.
そう、だから、まあ、ね、相手のことを一生懸命話を聞くわけですよ。聞かないと、わかんないし、そうすることで、まあ、相手をね、知る、相手の文化をわかる。
もうゆっくり話してください。じゃあ、
はい、もっとゆっくり、そうそう。
もっとゆっくり、そう、one more time.
言葉がわからないから、
This is not slowly, more, sorry. So, ごめん、ちょっと待って。This is English culture ね。For 日本人、this is rude. For Japanese people, it's rude. Warukomu saigeru is rude. But for English speakers, it's not rude. And in communication, I don't understand because it's too fast.
Okay.
So I'm asking her to slow down. It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
お互いの言葉がね、まだわからないので、
Okay,
だから、
so, talking to each other, sometimes we can't understand each other's words. So,
だから、一生懸命相手の話を聞く。Okay.
We will right back to super. Are you American? American 人ですか？
そうなってきたね。Looks American.
Americans, when we speak, if you say slow down, we speak more slowly.
Okay.
And then suddenly we start talking fast again like this.
わかんないわかんない。
もっとゆっくりやらせてください。Okay, どうぞ。
言葉がわからないから、そう。相手の話を一生懸命聞く。よく聞く。
Okay, so I think you're saying if you can't understand the person's words, then you can't understand what they're really saying. So if you want to understand that, then you got to listen.
そうそう。
Okay.
そうすると、then I can understand what そうすると相手のことが少しわかるじゃないですか。
So and so in that case, if I'm really listening, I can understand it a little bit better.
それはたとえ日本人同士でも同じことが言えるよね。わかんない。ごめん、今日全然なんか噛み合ってない、ね。
Just speak slowly.
Okay. 日本人同士でも一生懸命、一生懸命。
I know what that means. The same topic.
そうそう、一生懸命聞かないと相手のことはわからない。
Okay, so if you're not thinking about the same topic or you didn't hear it, then you can't understand what they're thinking or what they're, because if you can't really hear, if you're not really listening, then you can't understand. I think you're trying to say, right? So, Kuni, we have two stories to talk about that. So sometimes we talk about intercultural communication or異文化 communication. And one of the temas that we talk about a lot, one of the themes is high context and low context. So guys, for those of you who have seen it before, sorry to say the same thing. Japanese tends to be high context and English speakers tend to be low context.
英語圏ね。英語の人は
low context。
ローコンタクト。
context。
context。
背景と文脈は low context。
そうそうそう。
direct。はっきり話しますね。はい。
で、日本人は high context。high
context。
high context。
そう、日本人は一応聞いて字を知る文化ですね。空気を読むね。空気を読む。Okay, so Kuni's basically saying what I said. Japanese people tend to be high context, which is an indirect style of communication. English speakers tend to be low context, which is a direct style of communication. But there's one special superpower Japanese people have, which is they can read the air. Kuki o yomu, she said. So reading the air, but that's hard for us.
そうね。アメリカ人とか英語の人たちは空気を読むのがちょっととってもね。 難しいですね。
Well, it's hard to read the air, Kuni, because everybody's air is different in America.
ああ、そうね。
In Japan, you're not the same, but you're more similar. ちょっと同じね、文化と、background ね。In Japan, Japanese, Japan is 97% Japanese in Tokyo, 99% in the country. So everybody has a similar background, similar language, much more than United States. So it's easier to read the air between people when you have a similar background. Right?
アメリカはアメリカ人同士でも難しい。まあつまりアメリカ、each other、アメリカ人、アメリカ人。なぜならばアメリカは広いじゃないですか。だからエリアによって全然違う。
Okay, so one thing she's saying is America is a big country, so different regions have different cultures. Okay, that's true.
そう、日本はまあちっちゃい国ですね。
Well, I think Japan is actually kind of big. I mean, you do have a lot of regions, but they're still similar. It's not big like the United States.
そう、それに海、周りが海。
Okay, so the United
他の国とつながってないね。
Okay, so Japan is surrounded by water, so you don't have a lot of contact traditionally with other countries as much, especially in the past. So they've developed their own unique kind of culture.
そうそう。だから、まあ、日本文化、日本人っていうくくり、カラーが強いよね。
Yeah, just that same thing I said. So Japanese culture, because of this less contact with other cultures, everybody understands because there's not big changes even between regions. Not like in a country like United States, for example.
そうね。じゃあ、我が家の、ごめん。新しい話していい。
Hi, okay, so we're going to change the topic. Thank you for telling me.
Okay. My family ね、私たちの話ですね。例えば、ご飯を食べました。そうすると、じゃあ、お皿片付けてねって言うと、お皿しか片付けない。
Okay, so she's saying in this house, right? You mean this house? So when we eat dinner, you set the table first, and then after you finish, you should clean the table. However, but
でも、今は全部片付けてくれるでしょ。
Who did? 今は誰? Who?
マイキーもね。
Oh yeah, okay. So is today?
Before の
今。Now, okay. So before it wasn't done, but now Mikey does it. Yeah, but I think the point is, what is your point? Sorry, what's your point?
空気を読む、お皿片付けてねって言うと、dish only.
Okay.
でも空気を読んだら全部片付ける。
Okay, so what Kuni's saying, for example, my son had to learn when he came from America. Of course, he's very low context because he came from America. So when Kuni would tell him to do something, he would do low context. So if Kuni told him, please take the dishes off the table, he would take the dishes off the table and leave everything else. Not clean the table, leave the mats, leave the glasses, for example. Or maybe he just took that one dish that she pointed at. So if a person that's low context, they do exactly what you say. Whereas a person that's high context would think, oh, she means I should clean the whole area. Okay, I got you.
So, 1を聞いて10を知る.
Okay, so this is a Japanese like idiom or expression. If you hear one, but you understand 10. So you get a little information, but you're able to get all the information from that small information. But Kuni, that goes back to background.
Background.
Yeah, so background is having the similar background. If you have the same background, when you say 1, I understand 10, but we have the same 10. You're thinking 10. So I understand the same 10. But if you have a different background, maybe you get a different 10. Yeah, so a different outcome. Yeah. So so Kuni, I want to tell another story about that. So so last week or 2 weeks ago, we went to a museum. I wanted to see the mummies, so maybe you saw on my Facebook. We went to Ueno. Yeah.
Yes, Ueno のね、美術館に行ってきましたね。
So at that time, there's a place in Ueno station called Ameyoko.
Ameyoko 大好きね。
Yeah, I love Ameyoko. Ameyoko, it's an interesting word. It means American market. So after World War II, a lot of products were sold there. and like an open market. So it's one of the few open markets in Japan. It looks like a flea market.
そうだね。
Sometimes.
アメ横の雰囲気が、アメリカの市場とかね、そういう雰囲気に似てるから、多くの外国人がよくいますよね。
Yeah, there's lots of foreigners that go there because, it's just a familiar place and they have different kinds of products. But one thing that they have that I like, Kuni, is fish.
そうそう、その時ね、ちょうどお魚に興味があってね、お魚を売ってるお店に行ったよね。
So we went to a fishmonger, we might say in English, a person that sells fish. And this guy he said it was 8,000 yen for one piece of fish, but he was selling it for 1,000. Now, I don't know if it was really 8,000 yen. Chota ayashi. Now, he's a little fishy. Gomen oyashi gag. He's fishy wa imi wa ayashi. He is a strange guy, but the thing was I know the fish was good. It was worth more than 1,000 yen. It was good fish, right?
そうそう。もう当然、日本の皆さんはね、わかると思いますが、アメ横は新鮮で安い魚が売ってる。
Okay, so yeah, everybody knows she's saying Japanese. It's a cheap place and the quality is good. However, I went there and I asked Kuni like 3 times, like, Kuni, I really want to buy this fish. And she was like, well, we have to carry it because we're going up to the museum all the way up there and we have to carry it. It's kind of heavy. So that was number 1. John, can you?
そうそう。その日もね、いいお魚が安くてあって、マイクが私に、Kuni、買おうよって言ってきたんですよ。
Well, first you said, ちょっと重いですね。Mukatsukune, you're going to carry it all the way up there and carry it. Okay, that was case 1. But then I said, Kuni, but the price is good. Kuni, don't you think we should buy it? And then you said, well, Mike, maybe coming home time we can buy.
そう、いろいろとね、でも重たいし、これから美術館行くし、で、じゃあ帰りに買ったらって言ったのね。
But the meaning was really no, and I didn't get it. That's the real meaning. She's like, no, I don't want to buy it. And so then we went and ate, and then we were going to eat dinner, so we had a late lunch, and then now we don't have time. So その後は昼ご飯食べましたけど、ちょっと遅い時で2時3時ぐらい約束は何時から予約2時半 Okay, so it was like 2 o'clock, so it's too late. So I was like, Kuni, we can't go up there and buy it. We got to come back. We won't make it. The market might be closed. And so Kuni's like, yeah, it's snowing today, so it's probably too late. So maybe we shouldn't buy. Maybe I don't know. What do you think, Mike? でも意味は no.
そうでね、何回ももう買いたいっていうわけですよ。でも、雪が降ってた日、雪が降りそうだし、でも帰ってきた方がいいんじゃないとか、でももう行かなくちゃいけないよとか、理由をつけて私はですね、結果的には買うのやめようっていうことを言ってたんです。
Okay, so she didn't use low context and tell me don't just buy it, but she kept giving me these clues. So finally I got it. She doesn't want to buy. So now I want to find out why. Now I have been in Japan for a long time, Kuni. So I could kind of read the air a little bit. I have, Japanese people have antenna. We call it binkan antenna. But mine are like this. They're small. But I was like, this guy, Choto Ayashi, he's a little strange. So I think Kuni doesn't like him. That's why. So I got that.
そう、ちょっとね、お店の人が、本当浅草のあそこら辺の方の雰囲気なんですが、ちょっとね、あんまりね、その時はピーンとこなかったんですよね。
So Kuni didn't like him, but I figured it out. I didn't know why. So Kuni, what was it you didn't like about him?
で、結果的に何が言いたかっていうと、その方がね、お店の人が売ってるんだけど、その場でこうやってタバコ吸ってたんですよ。で、その姿を見て、ちょっとこのタバコ、生の魚をタバコ吸ってる人のね、手にかかっているものを買いたくないな。
Okay, so Kuni he was smoking, so that kind of turned her off. But also the fish was open, it wasn't covered, and it was all over his hands. He didn't have on gloves. He was smoking. And I kind of felt a little bit, but not as much as Kuni did, because I was looking at the price. And I just bought some nice fish. I'm kind of into that, healthy and grilling it Japanese style. I just wanted, but I knew she doesn't like something about him. So I couldn't quite read your air, but I got most of it. And that's the point of today's message. If you listen to the person but also you have to read the air. You can get the message. Even I didn't get 100%, but I got the main message. Don't buy. じゃあどうぞ。
難しいよ。
はい。じゃあ、本当に国のメッセージは全部わかります。理解できない。全部。でも、70% ぐらいわかりましたね。この人あまり好きじゃない。なぜは好きじゃないわかんない。でも、この人あまり好きじゃない。だから買わないね。That's the message. So, 私はもう少し聞いてましたと、もう少し頑張りましたね。I can try to read, and so I could get it. Okay, don't want to buy from this guy. That was the point. So, sorry, Kuni, we have some visitors. Okay.
いや、いますよ。西脇さん見てます。
Hey, Mr. Nishwaki, Mr. I need your help. 床屋さんね。
床屋さんね。
Please help. 助けてください。I need help.
西脇さんがアメ横はディスカウントしてもらえるのが楽しみだよって。
Yeah, we can get good prices in Ameyoko.
そう、安くなりませんかって聞いたよね、私ね。
そう。
聞いた。けど、
but he did give us a low price. Can you remember? He said it was 1,000 yen and the price was 8,000 yen.
確かに、そのついている値段よりもちょっと安くするから、
ちょっとじゃないの？
そうそう、2つね、買って行きなよって言われたんだけど、繰り返しますが、こうやってやってたので、いや、ますますやめようと思って理由をつけて、
So there was one side was that Kuni didn't really like, the atmosphere of that guy's stall. He wasn't as clean as it could have been, smoking and all that. But so one side is Kuni, I could read the air and figure it out, but I asked you 3 times, so I was being low context. But I think Kuni, it's safer to be low context when you have different background. So if you told me, Mike, let's talk for a minute. Maybe take me to the side. Because in front of him, you don't want to say, he's dirty. それはダメね。もちろん、彼の前は、この人あまり好きじゃないダメね。But you could tell me directly, Mike, I don't, this place is not clean to me. I don't like it. That could be done too.
そう、なんかね、アメリカっていうか外国の人は必ず、We need to talkってちょっと離れたりするような文化があるから、そういう文化だったら、いや、マイク、タバコ吸ってる人嫌って言ったかもしれないんですけど、目の前にいるのでそれは言えないから、私としては無意識に、雪降ってるし、とか、重たいし、とかって言ってたんですよ。だからこれって本当に日本人の、ね、文化。
So Kuni said the same thing I said, but it's difficult for her to directly tell me that. You don't want to say it in front of him. That's rude. And that's Japanese style. So, part of it is on me though, Kuni, because I have lived in Japan for a long time.
そうだね。
日本は長いね。この国、住んでましたね。長いけど、でも、I'm still, even though I'm okay, so when I came to Japan, I was this low. Now I'm here, but Japanese people are up here,
そう、マイクもね、日本に住んでるのが長いので、かなり日本人っぽくなってますよね。
I can do some of Japanese culture, but the thing is, Kuni, low context, I'll never get it all. I'm never going to be Japanese. So you have to, if you want to be safe in your communication, guys, we think low context is safer. It's safer because it's more easy. Anzen, because then I can understand, or we don't make a mess. We don't make a mistake. Excuse me. So, yeah, that's one thing about culture. Kuni, let's talk one more about culture. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
You had another story. And before we do that, any other? Okay, so no, I want you to tell the story about your ALT at your school talking about his favorite TV show.
そう、私たちの今の興味があることですね。私たちはネットフリックスで知ってますか？
Okay, so
コブラカイっての見てんです。
So Kuni just did the Japanese way. She's giving the background, but that gives away the whole story. But we are interested in Netflix, so we watch a show called Cobra Kai on TV.
それがね、うちだけだと思ったら、なんと私の学校の ALT のアメリカ人だと思うんだけど。
Okay, so Kuni works at school with an assistant language teacher. Maybe he's American. I think he's American. And he also likes this TV show.
そう。で、そしたら彼が後ろから別の人と話してる人は、 コブラカイ、コブラカイって聞こえて、と思って。
Okay, so Kuni heard him talking. So he's talking about his culture. Behind her, he was talking to another person. I think the other teacher, the other foreign teacher, but she was younger than him, and he was telling her about his favorite TV show, and Kuni heard Cobra Kai, Cobra Kai, Cobra Kai. Okay, and then
そうそうそう聞こえて、で2人が仲良くその話をしてたんですけど、思いっきり私も知ってますその話つって入り込んだんですよ。なんかちょっとドキドキしたけど、I know the story. We are watching every night with the family.
なんで英語で? So Kuni suddenly told him that, oh, I know what you're talking about, Cobra Kai, because I watch it with my family every night. We watch Cobra Kai.
そしたら、なんか、おー、知ってるのねとか言って盛り上がって、日本人だと人の話してるところにあんまり割り込まないけど、いいなと思って、ちょっと私も少し、Luke's American.
So Kuni was, she was a bit nervous because she was interrupting their conversation, which is something that Japanese don't do. So she kind of felt it was American culture. And Kuni, I think there were two more stories there that was interesting. One is that he was surprised probably that you knew that.
Because 私が知ってるのにびっくりしたはずね。
So Cobra Kai is a very LA story, even more than United States. It's California. It's LA, number one. But so he was surprised, but also I think he missed that his person he's talking to was too young. She doesn't know that culture, but he missed that. So he didn't realize, just because she's American, but she doesn't know Karate Kid. And he missed that.
そうカリフォルニアが舞台になってて、カリフォルニアと沖縄がね舞台になってる話で、私は知ってるよ懐かしいよみたいな気分で言ったんですけど、そのなんだ LT の先生はね、若い女の先生にこの話を一生懸命してたんですけど、若い人は多分この映画あんまり知らないんだよね。
Okay, so she's saying this. It's a young woman teacher, so she doesn't, because for those of you who don't know, Cobra Kai is a TV show based on a movie called The Karate Kid. The Karate Kid was a big cultural program. It was a big cultural program in the United States in the 1980s. I think it's like 84. So these two characters are just about my age. I think they're 1 or 2 years older than me, Kuni, so around our age. And now the story is talking about him, these two guys from the movie. Now they're 50 years, so 30 years later. So it's really original and good idea.
そうね、そう昔のそのカラリキッズっていう映画から来てる今ストーリーがその後のストーリーになってるんだね。その昔見た人はね、もう楽しいわけなんですよね。
Yeah, so I think that the point of today's story, Kuni, that we were talking about is how to, first I need to listen more. So I'm watching myself on the show and trying to do a better job of listening to my wife when she's talking and letting her have chances to speak. That's my struggle. And also understanding the other person's culture. So the two stories we talked about today was the person you have to listen, but you also need to use your eyes and look for the clues. Because your ALT, maybe he should know by looking at her body language and how much she was talking to the young woman that she didn't understand, but he didn't use those clues either. So we can do both, I think.
でも楽しそうにね。
Also, so did she enjoy the conversation?
Yes.
Oh, she did.
Yes. Oh, you know.
じゃあラストね、最後ね、日本語でこの同じね、頑張ります。
頑張って。
今日の、もちろん今日のテーマは、異文化コミュニケーションの一を聞いて上知るとか、一を聞いて一しか知らないのことね。So high context and low context. But we need to use both. I mean, low context is safer. でも両方使った方がいいね。時々 listening. でも時々も use your eyes. Look for the clues. Is the person leaning forward, good body language? Or are they like this? Are they kind of listening? So, So let's read the air, but let's try to be low context is safer.
そうね。
両方ね。
やっぱり日本人だと空気を見すぎちゃって、逆に帰ってってこともあると思うので、 相手の人の話を聞いて、顔を見て、両方ね、あんまり空気読みすぎないのも、これから必要かなというふうに特に思いますっていうようなことだと思います。
Yeah. So that's for today. I enjoyed today. I think we're out of time right there, Kuni. But so these themes. That's what I was saying. We don't need to practice. It's just we got to have them in
はい
here.
すいませんね、今日は。
No, that's
大丈夫。
No,
今日ね。
I mean,
ね、
you
何
don't
人か
need
見
to
てくれてい
practice.
てありがとうございます。
You don't need to practice because it's inside. If you live that way, then it'll come out. So
はい。
that's it.
はい、そんな私たちのね、
皆さん try do your best.
はい、私たちのこんな話聞いていただいてありがとうございま
Thank
す。
you for
嬉しい
listening to us
で
today.
す。はい、また次
じゃあ
回に。
next time maybe change the date.
そうだね、
So
ま
we'll
たお
tell
知
you.
らせします。
Okay.
はい、また
Thank
次回
you.
ありがとうございます。
Happy New Year.
はい、さよなら。Good night.